Let's get into the Love Island drama. Even though Love Island has wrapped up, the drama continues, especially after we see these characters start to laugh at racially motivated slurs. The problem with Love Island is that they just pick up like random people who are not celebrities and have a past and don't know how to behave and are not vetted people. So we're getting some of probably the worst people ever on this show, and their behavior in real life is starting to play out, and we're seeing their true colors. If you guys watched Love Island, I actually hung out with Grace Lynn. Shout out to Grace Lynn. The other day I got dinner with her, and she's good friends with one of my friends here in LA. She's very sweet. I'll say she's the only one I could defend here because I don't know any of the other ones personally, but Huda is the one who's finding herself in trouble. I remember we spoke about Huda in the podcast early on when the show kicked off because people were worried about her stability. Well, Huda and her boyfriend thought it was really funny when a fan called in on livestream and called their castmate Olandria the N slur. Here's a clip of this moment that went viral on social media.
Whoa, hey.
Yo, I turned that off.
Hey.
Yo, what did they say? They said a bad word.
Now, immediately Huda tried to defend herself, saying the laughter was because it was awkward and she was nervous. But I think anyone in their right mind, if they heard someone they're cool with or someone from a show or anyone just being called that kind of word, it would make me more jump, kind of shocked, not maybe laughing, bursting out laughing at this.
Huda is the perfect example of someone the internet refuses to hold accountable. Every time she slips up, people rush to say, she didn't mean it. Y'all are overreacting. But at some point, y'all gotta stop mistaking charm and popularity for character. We all watched the clip. I clearly heard what was said. Now, she did say the slur herself, but her reaction, it spoke volumes. Laughter wasn't just awkward, it was acceptance. And that's where accountability comes in. You know what's crazy? I've always been really neutral when it came to Huda. Never hated her, never defended her, just kind of stayed out of it. After seeing that, I was like, yeah, baby, go ahead and log off for me. Maybe she laughed because she was uncomfortable. Okay, but hear me out. She's not just some random person on the internet. You're somebody with brand deals, somebody who has influence, an audience that's watching your every move.
Super messy behavior on Huda's part. I mean, if you want to be brand safe and make it in this world as an influencer, you need to act smarter. Also, who raised you? Why are you laughing at this? Especially when your boyfriend who's black is right next to you. He actually said on social media, I don't want to give this person that said the slur the satisfaction they get from this, but I have to come here and say something because it wasn't what we heard. Both Huda and her boyfriend are trying to play this narrative that they didn't understand the person, even though in the other clip that was picking up audio, everyone else could clearly hear what this person had said. Now, Orlandia chimed in, and that's who we want to hear from because she's the one who was disrespected. She said, defending it, laughing about it, or making excuses is even worse. I will not let this moment derail my purpose in uplifting my community. I'm standing firm in who I am and using this as an opportunity to call for real accountability and awareness. Let's just say she's not giving Huda a pass for this. And even with Huda's explaining over and over again with her boyfriend trying to defend it, there was no stopping this. It was too late. Huda Beauty, which is not Huda's brand, but a brand she worked with because they share the same name, actually dropped her. So you know it's bad if the fellow Huda dropped you immediately. They said, while we valued our partnership with Huda, her recent behavior and the way the situation has been handled does not reflect our brand principles. We've decided to end our partnership and remove any related content from our social media platforms and in-store displays. I do appreciate that Huda Beauty stepped up so quickly to go and wipe their hands of her, especially when there is zero accountability here and that kind of reaction. I wouldn't want to go and support that brand, but they did the right thing by jumping on it so quickly. I wonder if they made their social media post first or told her first. I could totally see them telling the world first.
Ciao, Huda Beauty has officially ended their brand partnership with Love Island's Huda Mustafa. In a statement posted to their Instagram, Huda Beauty said, "At Huda Beauty, kindness and humanity are at the heart of everything we do. Unfortunately, one of our recent collaborators has displayed behavior that does not align with our values."
Let's get into Sia. So Sia has been in a nasty battle with her ex, and I've got a video that we're going to be talking about this on my main channel, going through their history, but I wanted to give you guys an update on this. So they're going through a really bad divorce, and they've got a very young child that they share. Well, it looks like Sia's estranged husband wants full custody because of her drug use. She's saying even worse things, that he has been investigated for extremely inappropriate content before, like content that would be dangerous for children, so you probably wouldn't want him to have any custody. Now, their child's name is Somersault Wonder Bernard, which is a mouthful, and it looks like their divorce is getting really bad. I mean, Daniel wants a lot of money from Sia and wants control over their kid. Daniel says that Sia is an unfit, unreliable parent struggling with substance use and addiction, rendering her incapable of providing a safe or stable home for Somersault. Daniel says, I'm the only safe and reliable parent for our son. I'm a doctor, young, healthy, and I have no criminal history or drug or alcohol issues. Sia responded that there's no reason that he should be granted full custody. She says that Somersault is safe with her, and ever since their separation, noting that they agreed back in August 2025 that Daniel would have restricted monitored visits because he is being investigated by the LAPD for inappropriate content found on his computer drive involving, again, bad stuff. This is getting really messy. They did not have a civil breakup. This person in the comments brought up the fact that Sia did have a relationship with Maddie Ziegler, writing, "This feels like an appropriate time to bring up what she did to Maddie."
In new legal documents obtained by TMZ, Dan is asking for sole custody of the couple's 1-year-old Somersault Wonder. Daniel alleges Sia is an unfit and unreliable parent, struggling with substance abuse and addiction, rendering her incapable of providing safe or stable care for Summy. Dan wants Sia to submit for regular and random drug testing, pay $77,245 a month for child support, and be limited to 2-hour professionally monitored visits 3 times a week. On the other hand, Dan is currently limited to only monitored visits, and Sia says it's because of a child pornography investigation. He was under investigation by the LAPD and the DCFS over illicit child pornography, allegedly found on the hard drive of his computer, but Dan claims that Sia planted the evidence in order to separate him from his child.
Now, these appear to be messages that Daniel has leaked between him and Sia, where Sia is talking about getting drugs delivered. She's talking about having multiple orders of them being delivered, and she felt wobbly. She says she's just trying to be honest about these things. She writes, "I don't actually know why I lied to you about this, but I did not find an extra Paris spray bottle on Saturday night. I had the drugs delivered that Saturday night and they made me wobble." So she's talking about how she does have an issue here. She's like, I guess, lied to him, saying that she had just found the drugs, but no, she did intend to order them and use them. According to Daniel, Sia deliberately concealed that she was hospitalized in LA for 2 weeks and tested positive for benzos with no medical explanation. He's also looking for child support of $77,000 per month to take care of Somersault. I have never heard of a 1-year-old needing $77,000 a month to exist, to thrive, to live. I mean, at $77,000, what is he eating? When it comes to the inappropriate content that Daniel was supposedly caught with, he says that Sia actually planted it and framed him, which would be crazy if that is true, if she found that material and planted it to make him lose this battle, which she did win. A judge ruled that most of the facts asserted in the legal documents from Daniel were old news. Sia claims that she had been sober for about 6 months and insists that she agreed to drug tests for both her and Dan, claiming it was Dan who refused to get drug tested on a regular basis. Sia says it is true, she suffered from substance abuse like 15 years ago, but she's been committed. She says that Dan attempts to weaponize her past sobriety journey, and it serves no legitimate purpose and is intended only to distort the facts and undermine her credibility. There are some sketchy parts of Sia and her past, and we're going to be talking about that in my video on my main channel, so make sure you are subscribed there. Thank you for watching this clip from the Let's Get Into It podcast. To view the full episode, visit the link listed below.